ain't playing no games. Only gods on earth can remain. Fear the shackles and the chains. Do this for the Lord, stain revenge on the brain. Captains, deacons, bishops, you don't want them to get in that mode. Word burning in our souls, now you see purple gold on the road. Narrow path of direction, spirit work with aggression. Hate the sin, hate oppression. Keep hating, give us blessings. Want the spirit, I'ma teach you a lesson. Gotta get back to the basics, know what's on your foundation. If you building up this nation, praying fast on a day-to-day basis. IUIC got that vision like LASIK.
Boots marching a steady rhythm. We on go for our freedom, not putting in another prison. Bro, on goals that we going with them. Fighting demons, we forcing them out like an exorcism. And they see how we blowing up. Getting older and wiser, just see how we growing up. See sick, yeah, they throwing up. Man, they watch how we moving, can't hold their composure up. We going berserk and we slaying. Yo, doctors like you getting murked. We gon' teach them the truth. They gon' know that you lied and we really don't care if you mad and you hurt. Don't copy the movement. You see that we hit the diaspora. Learn that when people are church. 24/7, 365. Oh yeah, around you putting that work. Like this Bible a weapon. I'm with all the stepping. These witches are making them frantic. We ain't spinning your block, we spinning this work from the sun that we preach that landing. I ain't giving my love to this work for no diamonds and pearls, I ain't getting romantic. Immortal the goal, so we tune out the rate and we ain't gonna stop till the kingdom is granted. To the gods, I want smoke with the gods. The prophets is back and we bringing that fire. This kingdom, we bringing it down. We hollering out wartime, war ready, we putting our boots on the ground. They talking when we not in town, when we come around, they don't make a sound. Yeah, I want smoke with the gods. The prophets is back and we bringing that fire. This kingdom, we bringing it down. We hollering out wartime, war ready, we putting our boots on the ground. They talking when we not in town, when we come around, they don't make a sound.
Yeah, it's heat in the street, 400 degrees in the street. Look for a doctor to chop from the bottom to top like a tree in the street. Lying in the way of peace in the street. Them Jews been out on the hunt, better move, they looking for lunch. No circus ain't come for the stunts, they kicking them scriptures, we come for the punch. The Christians just drinking the punch. Jim Jones been alone with the dry bones, so we crossing them time zones. Gotta wake up Jake, even the one from State Farm. This truth got reached, that's 8 arms. The prophets is coming, just wait for them. This word like fire, this stay palm. Set your city ablaze, you should be amazed. We roll with the phenoms, can't be seen with the peons. It's the end of the days and you gotta know that. This is not where you go toe to toe at. I can't stop till the heat in my dough at. And I got a pot made for watching this Moab. Come get this toe tag, hold that.
Are you ready for war? Bring out the sword, that's Hebrews 4. Scriptures cut to the core, it's spiritual food, so I need some more. Take a trip to the US, spiritual boots, cause we been at war. Satan tried to take us down, but we're standing tall with our faith in God. Standing on guard, respected, yeah. We are the saints selected, the best of the best elected, yeah. We must endure, accept it, the kingdom of God objective. Some fell out the truth, rejected. Now they're hitting on us, expected. Can't come around us. Still got a smaller circle. Puffs in town, see the gold and purple. Actions allowed, we don't stop with verbal. Prepare for battle, battle array. Holding the line, so don't step in the way. 144,000 set on display. Got the Lord, the skips get hit with a stray.
I want smoke with the gods. The prophets is back and we bringing that fire. This kingdom, we bringing it down. We hollering out wartime, war ready, we putting our boots on the ground. They talking when we not in town, when we come around, they don't make a sound. Yeah, I want smoke with the gods. The prophets is back and we bringing that fire. This kingdom, we bringing it down. We hollering out wartime, war ready, we putting our boots on the ground. They talking when we not in town, when we come around, they don't make a sound.
Any of y'all know anything about the Bible? What was the prophets sent out? What was Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah? What were they sent to do? To warn the people, right? Guess what?
Prophets came back and we coming around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south corner, move. Prophets came back and we coming around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south corner, move.
Prophets cry aloud, spare not around here. False darkness tore down, they can't live around here. Keep thy foot, be quiet when you come around here. Voice like a trumpet, teacher strong and austere. Raising up a nation, it get real around here. Lately I've been thinking to myself like, damn. My people rebellious, we gotta tell them. Law keepers keep keeping, the Lord won't fail you. Understand us without readers, we got teachers, they can teach you. We got Jesus, they got seizure, misconception, got them evil. That's why we're sent to the people, raising up a dead state. Repent from this dead weight, standing strong, won't break.
Prophets came back and we coming around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south corner, move. Prophets came back and we peaceful habitation, safe dwellings, resting in quiet places. Woe to this war, the wicked abominations, men in dresses and skirts, putting shame on my nation. Woe to these niggas, Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah, treacherous lies, the playing is over. The playing is over. Christ coming back and he looking for soldiers. He looking for soldiers. Playing with sin like you play with a cobra. You playing with cobras. The truth, now the waiting is over. The waiting is over. Christ coming back, he bringing the truth, and we taking over. We taking over. Man, you love God, but his words you despise. You live in all them lies. The truth cut to your heart. Prophets came back and we coming around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south corner, move. Prophets came back and we come around here, bringing out the truth, you can see it real clear. Don't say a word when we come around here. East corner, west corner, south corner, move.
You can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling. If I die for the truth, it's a win-win. And going to the end, going all in. Going all in. Going in, going all in. Going all in.
Yeah. Yeah. Lie. Mind racing fast as my heart skip a beat. Anxiety feels as I walk through these cold streets. Fear of the unseen, but it really get deep. Cause these prophetic dreams make it so hard to sleep. My soul yearning as I hope for something better. You've been through the rain and still got mold to weather. Cause my fella gotta eat, so I gotta get this cheddar. Cause you can't be a king if you can't take care of Coretta. Snakes in the grass and I know they so phony. It's a new Jim Crow and he taking my old homie. Changed my life so much my own mother don't know me. Still got dues to pay cause life took a toll on me. So I turned to the word and read and found out we the gods. And that's far from hyperbole. Might not have what the earthly see, but on the highways and hedges they done heard of me.
In the concrete jungle where men become gods. And don't be surprised when the real you rise. Better open your eyes and see through the lies. Tears from your soul flow through the streets. Wisdom echo, oh so unique. Roads is narrow, but the chosen is few. You're so close to the truth. Concrete jungle.
Born in this hell, just trying to make it out. We put our faith in God, knowing that's the safest route. Even though the depths of Satan trying to take us out, they break us down and leave us empty as our bank accounts. Born in destruction, that's why we constantly fussing. These youngins hopeless and struggling, that's why they out here hustling. The same government we trust, they say we good for nothing. They rob us blind, but they don't never get no repercussions. That's why we bringing light to the lifeless, and we stand with the righteous wherever we see a crisis. We was brought here together, yet they be trying to divide us. That's why we come with the word.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. Let's stand and face the east. Men of Israel, blow trumpet. O God of our fathers, of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, we come before you in humble and contrite spirits, Father, asking for your mercy, O God. Asking you to send thy holy angel from above to give us the spirit of wisdom. Father, thy prophets have gone out throughout all the earth, O Lord. You have sent them to every nation, Father, every place on this planet, Father, everywhere where your name is being spoken of, Father. I pray for the prophets, Father, that they may be safe, O God. Send thy Holy Spirit from above that it may keep them and strengthen them and guide them in their way, O Lord, and keep them safe and to help them return home, Father. I pray, Father, these things, oh Lord, let the congregation say, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. In your holy name do we pray, Jesus, in Jesus Christ, the black Messiah's name. Come on. All praise to the Most High, man. History in the AM. It's my first time doing this. Yeah. All praises, man. All praises, you know. His history in the AM time. Hope you all are up. Get your oblations. You're probably driving to work or something. Stay in the spirit. It's a great day to wake up and think about our Lord God. So, today's class, or today's history is on Moses, all right? Moses, the God slayer. That's hard, you know what I'm saying? Initially, I was going to call it Moses and Daniel, the God slayers, but I don't think I'm going to get to Daniel. There's so much stuff on Moses. I really don't think I'm going to get to Daniel. Are you ready to read, bro?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Because we're going to be reading a lot today. All right. Moses, the God slayer. What does that mean? What are we talking about? All right. Let's start at Romans 15:4. Oh, by the way, my name is Officer Azaziah. Some know me as Big Red. Bringing you today from IUIC Detroit. All praise to the Most High God. Send our prayers up. Send your prayers up for the prophets who are going out through all the earth at this time. All right? Read what you got.
Book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime
Come on.
were written for our learning,
Whatever was written before was written for us to learn from. Come on.
that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures
Might what?
might have hope.
That we through patience and comfort in the scriptures might have hope. We want to hope in a better future. We want to be able to read the history of this Bible and glean from it. We want to be able to read about our forefathers and glean from it, learn from it, learn what they did. How did they stay in the spirit when trials came? How did they stay in the spirit when God commanded them to do something that they were not good at? How did they stay in the spirit when God said, you got to slay the gods of Egypt? How did Moses say, yes, sir? But when God says, hey, you need to keep my commandments, you say, I'll try. What's wrong with you? All right, from there, Exodus chapter 1 and verse 5. Let's just jump right in. Let's jump right in.
Book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 5.
Come on.
And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls.
So all of the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. Start at verse 1.
Verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt.
So the children of Israel, which came where?
Which came into Egypt.
Which came into Egypt. Come on.
Every man in his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan, and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher.
Read.
And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls.
So bam. All those are the 12 patriarchs of the 12 tribes of Israel. All of them came into Egypt, and there was 70 of them. 12 sons, they had families, 70 of them, right? Read on.
For Joseph was in Egypt already, and Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation.
Come on.
And the children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
So it's easy when you read that to just read. We just read from 1 to 7. It's easy to read that and just gloss over what we just talked about. It just, boom, it's gone. Oh, a new king, all right, whatever. You might think it's just one person, but this is years of time. From what we just read from 1 to 7, that's years of time. So bam. From there, let's talk about Egypt, all right? Pull up that first picture. Okay, Ham. Very good. Ham. You see Bishop on there. Ham. Read that.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, about 19...
No, read just the highlight part.
Oh, okay. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
So Ham is the progenitor, the patriarch of the dark races. Read.
Not the Negroes.
Not the what?
Not the Negroes.
So if you didn't know, you're not a Hamite, black man. You thought you was Ham this whole time. You let the Christian church tell you you're a Hamite. Stop it. Get some help. Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes, because the Negroes come from Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and then all the way up come from Shem. All right? Read on.
But the Egyptians.
The what?
But the Egyptians.
The what?
But the Egyptians.
Read on.
Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
So it says, but the Egyptians. Egyptians today, if you didn't know, are Nilotic Africans. They're Nilotic tribes. I believe you have the Watusi tribe. What's the other tribe? In Sudan. Well, I wish I had that part of Sudan. Sudanese, that's right. So you got the Sudanese, right? You have the Watusi tribe, Sudanese. If you didn't know, can you pull up a picture of Sudan? I'm sorry, I didn't have this in my notes. If you can find a picture of Sudan, I'm going to say something about that right quick. If you didn't know, Sudan is really just a part of Egypt. Remember Bishop did that class the other day. If you didn't watch it, just so you understand right now, Sudan is just another part of Egypt. When Sudan is it's like a new country. It just means land of the black. That was always a part of the land of Egypt. So when you look at a map, they can pull it up. You look at a map, you have Egypt. That's where the Watusi, the Nilotes lived. They were strong in an empire. They were black. And then you had Sudan. That was always the land of Egypt. All right? You got a map? Yeah, pull it up. Okay, look at that. So blow it up a little bit. Yeah, so you see Egypt? Sudan was always a part of Egypt. That was the whole empire of Egypt right there. Sudan was always a part of that. That's why there's Nilotes, Sudanese living right there. That's Egyptians. So, and they're not Arabs. Arabs came to the land in 659 A.D., around that time. That's when the Arabs got there. So, check it out. Sudan was always a part of Egypt. Just remember that point, all right? Let's go to Genesis 50 and verse 11, because we're talking about Egypt right now. Genesis chapter 50 and verse 11.
Book of Genesis, chapter 50 and verse 11.
You take that off the screen.
And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, this is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians.
To the what?
To the Egyptians.
Read.
Wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mizraim.
What was it called?
Abel Mizraim.
Who is Mizraim? It said this is a great mourning to the Egyptians. We're going to call this Abel Mizraim. Jump to Genesis chapter 10 and verse 6. Who is Abel Mizraim? What the hell? Where did we get that from? Mizraim sounds like a name that we know.
Book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 6.
Come on.
And the sons of Ham.
The Nilotes. Read.
Cush.
Ethiopians.
And Mizraim.
And who?
And Mizraim.
Mizraim is Egypt. That's why we just read in Genesis 50:11. Let's go back there.
Book of Genesis, chapter 50 and verse 11.
Come on.
And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, this is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians.
This is a what?
This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians.
This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. Come on. Remember, Egyptians, that's the word of the day. Go ahead.
Wherefore, the name of it was called Abel Mizraim.
The name was called what?
Abel Mizraim.
The name was called Abel Mizraim. So Mizraim and Egypt, that's the same thing. So Mizraim dwelt in the land of Egypt. That's the son of Ham. Those are Hamites there. And guess who they had? And now go to Psalms 83 verse 4. Watch this. Watch this. Psalms 83 and verse 4. Egypt comes from a woman named Hagar.
Book of Psalms.
Go ahead.
Book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 4.
Come on.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Watch this.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Read.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites, that's Arabs, go ahead.
Of Moab. And the Hagarenes.
And what?
And the Hagarenes.
The Hagarenes are Egyptians. If you didn't know that, you know right now. The Hagarenes are Egyptians. And they're on God's hit list. They're on God's hit list. Why? Because all of the evil that they've done to our people. So no, go back to Genesis 15:13. Remember, we're talking about Egypt. We're talking about Moses, the God slayer. And we're going to deal with this whole topic. It's going to be good stuff. It's going to be health to your bones on this prep day before the Sabbath. Read that.
Book of Genesis, chapter 15 and verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
Read.
And shall serve them.
Serve who? The Egyptians. Come on.
And they shall afflict them 400 years.
How long were we in Egypt?
400 years.
400 years we had to serve in Egypt. So remember, when we read Exodus chapter 1 from verse 1 to 7, that was 400 years of time. It said a new king rose up, a new dynasty. We're going to show you what that means. That new dynasty wasn't just Ramses, because everybody reads that and thinks, oh, it's Ramses. Ramses was a king. No, that's 400 years of time. We were in slavery in Egypt. All right, pull up that picture of history of Jewish civilizations. Let me show you something out of here. Yeah, pull that up. All right, you see the book, Picture History of Jewish Civilizations. Let's go into the book. No, I want the one with the words first. You got the one with the words? No, before that. It says chained captives. Before that. Nope, before that. Before that. Before all of that. Y'all killing it. Y'all killing the spirit, IT. The hell? Just showing all our stuff before we supposed to drop some bombs over here. You're showing all our goods, man. Don't be like Hezekiah, man. When the other nation came to Babylon, he showed all. Hey, look. Babylon came to Israel. He was like, look at all my stuff. Look at all my goods. You don't have that picture? You downloaded it or something? All right. Read Exodus 1 and 7 one more time while we wait.
Book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 7.
Read.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly.
So in captivity, we became fruitful and we increased abundantly. That's what happens. Anytime Israelites get into captivity, just like today, you always see us running around with 4 or 5 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids. Now, unfortunately, it's turned from 4 kids with the same woman to 4 baby mamas, 5 baby daddies, 6 baby mamas, 3 baby daddies. But we still have multiple children while we are in captivity. This is what we do. This is what we've always done. Read it, verse 7 one more time.
Verse 7, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them.
Right, so we waxed mighty, and the land was filled with us. So we went from 70 to hundreds, thousands. Do you think we could have went from 70 to hundreds of thousands when Moses took out of the land of Egypt, maybe even millions? How can we go from 70 to that in 5 years, or in the lifetime of one man, 40 years? It's impossible. It had to be hundreds of years. That's why we were in the land. Read Genesis 15:13 one more time. You got the picture, IT? All right, go ahead, read it.
Book of Genesis, chapter 15 and verse 13.
Come on.
And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
Read.
And shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
We were afflicted in Egypt for 400 years. It's not a small amount of time. We became a mighty nation in 400 years. That's why we were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty. That's why Pharaoh started walking around and said, hold on. Hey, he called his guards. Hey, Rim Fam. Hey, Foot Tutmost, come here. Who is that? Who is that? Oh, that's the Israelites, sir. What the hell? Why is there so many of them? Every time I turn, I see an Israelite. Oh, no, we got to do something about this. That's what they said. That's what happened. And now look, all right, so pull up the Jewish civilizations. Let's try one more time. No, the picture of the book. Picture of the book, man. Stay with me, IT. All right, so we're going to go into this book, Picture History of Jewish Civilizations. All right, let's go to the page you were just at. I want you to read the highlight part.
Chained captives are shown on these painted clay-facing plaques from a building erected by Ramses II in honor of the king's brave warriors.
So Ramses II erected this building. Let's see the clay-facing plaques. Go to the next part. Get the white man out of that. Look at the necks. Look at what they're wearing on their necks. That's called a yoke of iron. Look at the hair. Get a white man out of that. You telling me white people served in slavery in Egypt? You're a damn lie. This is from the walls. It said, remember it said, what did it say? It said, chained captives are shown on these painted clay facing plaques from a building. So they pulled this off of a building. These are black people in chains. These is Israelites in chains. The Israelites weren't white. Get a white man out of that. You can't do it. Look at the lips. Look at the nose. Watch this. That looks oddly familiar too. Go to the next picture. That looks oddly familiar. Now go back to the Egyptian. Now go back to the picture. That looks oddly familiar. I wonder why God called this spiritual Egypt. Spiritual Egypt. Look at the chains on our neck in Egypt. Look at the chains on our neck in America. Same damn thing. Bring it out. All right, go to the next one. Look at that. This is also a depiction. I think it's from the same book. Notice how the oppressor and the people that's being oppressed, both of them are brown. But they're not the same people. Go to Exodus 11 and 7 while we stare at this picture. Exodus 11 and verse 7. Notice they're not the same. They're not the same, but they're both dark skinned. Go ahead, read that.
Book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7.
Come on.
But against any of the children of Israel,
read.
Shall not a dog move his tongue.
Shall not a dog move his tongue against the children of Israel. Read.
Against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
The Lord puts a difference between what?
That the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
The Lord puts a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So even though both of us are dark skin complexion, we are different. I don't know if you ever seen a Nilo. I don't know if we can pull up a picture. But they're different than us. They look a little bit different. They look blue-black. They look different. They look different. That's why there's differences in how we look, how we act, how we move, what we think about. There's a Spirit of God is dealing with us and us only. All right, go to the next picture. Let me show you something. All right, look at that. So where do you think the Israelites are in this picture? You see, it looks like somebody's on a chariot. Take me off the screen. It looks like somebody's on a, look, it's a black man. That's a black man for sure. There's white in his garment, and look at his skin color. He's a black with his arrow and his chariot. He's shooting at other black people. Where are we? Look in the bottom right corner. Yep, there we are right there. Look at us. Look at the fan we're holding. You see that? We're fanning that Egyptian. We're fanning that Nilot, that Hamite, as he slays other Hamites or other nations. We are in slavery. That's our position in this picture. All right, you see it's in the bottom right corner. All right, that's us fanning the king. So now, go back to Exodus and we'll just read verse 8.
Book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 8.
Come on.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt,
read.
Which knew not Joseph.
Okay, so it says there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Put up that picture. So a new king over Egypt is really a new dynasty. A new dynasty. Dynasty goes into multiple kings. Hey, pull up the word dynasty. That's not a normal Negro word. When a black man hear dynasty, he'd be like, huh? Dynasty? Google that. What's a dynasty? So Google it for him. Google it for him. I know he said, I'm looking at him. He said, what's a dynasty? Because he said there arose a new king. You might thought that's one person. That's not one person. That's a new dynasty, a multitude of kings over us. You pull up the word dynasty. Let's see. Pull that up. Read that.
The definition of dynasty: a succession of rulers of the same line of descent.
A what?
A succession of rulers of the same line of descent.
So all of them are Egyptians. That's the same line of descent, and it's a succession of rulers. So ruler after ruler after ruler after ruler. That's a dynasty. Now go back to the picture. So a new dynasty is us 400 years in captivity in Egypt. Because when we got to Egypt, we didn't start as slaves. When we got to Egypt, we didn't start as in bondage. We were there, everything was good. We was in the land of Gershom, high-fiving each other. Everything was smooth butter. But then Pharaoh, we're going to read about it, then Pharaoh looked at us and said, hey, Biff, a Tutankhamun, what's the name? What's the Egyptian name? Hey, Ra Ragash Magog the first. Look at these men around here. They're huge. They're not as, they don't look like us. Even though they're tall, they got muscles. We're tall. We look like sticks, like palm trees walking around. But them, they got all these muscles and stuff. Who are these people? They know how to dance. They got good music. We have no rhythm at all, and our foreheads look weird. All right, pull up the picture of the 18th dynasty. So, bam, you got Tutmos III. You got Hatshepsut, whatever, Amenhotep III, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, I think that's the boy king, Horemheb. So that's the 18th dynasty. So we were in captivity. Pull up the next picture. So, bam, we went from the 11th to the 18th dynasty. 11th to the 18th dynasty. That's 400 years. All right, am I saying it right? Is it 18th to the 11th or 11th to 18th? 18th to 11th, right? Okay, so the 18th dynasty to the 11th dynasty, that's 400 years. That's that new king. Read it one more time, verse 8.
Book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 8.
Come on.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt.
Read.
Which knew not Joseph.
So from the 18th, pull up, scroll to the 18th right quick. So bam, the new king. Real quick, can't just go left, right, left, right. Yeah, the new king starts here. And then go to the 11th. Boom, 400 years. That's 18th to the 11th. That's 400 years. That's that new king that rose up over Egypt. We're going over this because Passover is right around the corner. All right, let's go to Numbers 33. No, I'm sorry. Read from verse 8. We're going to go down to verse 11. All right, you can take that off the screen.
Book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 8.
Because Esau will make you think we only were dealing with Ramses. That's the only person we dealt with. No. It was a succession of kings for 400 years that we dealt with. Read.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt.
New dynasty.
Which knew not Joseph.
He didn't know nothing about Joseph.
And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
So check it out. We were deep. Look. So whoever this Pharaoh was, he would sit back. I believe it was Ramses. He would sit back and say, he would ride on his chariot and say, they are deep. They seen us playing ball. He would ride through Gershom, part of his land, riding. He'd look through. He said, there are a lot of these. Who are these people? Why are they so deep? They don't look like us. They don't act like us. They don't mess with us for real. They don't serve our gods. Who are these people? So he had to ask his homeboys, who are these people? They're more and mightier than we. They're deep. And like I could tell, they will whoop our behind if we ever mess with them. I seen them fight the other day. It was crazy. Read on.
Come on. Let us deal wisely with them.
He said, look, we're gonna have to deal wisely. They're too deep, bro. We're gonna have to deal wisely with these guys. Go ahead.
Lest they multiply.
Uh-huh.
And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our
He
enemies.
said, look, if it come to pass that wartime happens and they turn on us, we're finished. We're done. We're not going to be able to rise up again as a nation. We are done. These people are deep as hell. If they rise up, it's over. We're just going to pack our bags and go home, bro, because it's finished. Go ahead.
And fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters.
They said over them what?
Taskmasters.
Just like you got an evil black boss at your job. You know, it's always the black woman, too. It's always, I'm talking about today's time, because we're still in Egypt to this day. It's always, spiritually, might I add, it's always the black woman they set up as a taskmaster. She is so serious about her job. I remember I had a taskmaster. That's why I call her name. I'm not going to say her name. She was the devil the Bible speaks of. She was the most evil black woman I've ever met in my life. She worked in healthcare. The most evil. I said, bro, I had to read this scripture. Read it one more time.
Book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 11.
Come on.
Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters.
They set over them taskmasters. He said, let us deal wisely. We're going to set over them taskmasters. I had a taskmaster at this job, bruh. This woman was evil as hell. One time, there's a girl that worked there, right? She was an MA. She had to drive 40 to 50 minutes to get to work. She had 3 kids. She had she was physically diseased in her body, right? I believe she went through some type of fire was at her house. She had all these burn marks, you know what I'm saying? She was messed up a little bit. So and she was limping. Her body wasn't as strong as it used to be because it got burnt in a fire. So instead of having mercy for her fellow Israelite woman, she fired her. She fired her. I said, damn, this woman's a task. She's never the Bible speaks of. This is Esau's bulldog. Right front and center in front of me. Yeah, I mean, that's wicked as hell. Go ahead.
Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters.
Come on.
To afflict them with their burdens.
With their what?
With their burdens.
I got a precept, Judith 5 and 11. Let's read that. I don't know if it works, but we're going to see. Yeah, Judith. Judith 5 and 11. They set over them burdens. Let's see what his burdens were.
Book of Judith, chapter 5 and verse 11.
Yeah.
Therefore, the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them.
And dealt what?
And dealt subtly with them.
The king of Egypt rose against us and dealt subtly with us. He dealt crafty, just like Esau deals crafty. He redlines us. He puts us in ghettos. He makes it so it's hard to get out of the ghetto. You have to try to go to the bank to buy a house that you're not. If you're black, you're not allowed. If you're white, you can get it tonight. It's crazy. Go ahead.
And brought them low with laboring in brick and made them slaves.
And made them what?
And made them slaves.
We were made slaves in the land of Egypt. Come on.
Then they cried unto their God, and he smote all the land of Egypt with incurable plagues.
With what?
With incurable plagues.
Read.
So the Egyptians cast them out of their sight.
That's good stuff right there. We're going to read about the incurable plagues that God put on Egypt. All right, go back to Exodus 1 and read verse 11 one more time.
Book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 11.
Read.
Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens.
To afflict us as we were slaves in Egypt. That's what the purpose of the taskmaster was, to afflict us. Read.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses.
Pithom and Ramses. So we had to build treasured cities in Egypt, Pithom and Ramses. Now, how do you know that when we left Egypt, Ramses was the one ruling Egypt? How do you know when we left Egypt, Ramses was the one ruling Egypt? Go to Numbers chapter 33, verse 3.
Book of Numbers, chapter 33 and verse 3.
Come on.
And they departed from Ramses in the first month on the 15th day.
They departed from who?
They departed from Ramses in the first month on the 15th day of the first month. On the morrow after the Passover, the children of Israel went out within high land in the sight of all the Egyptians.
Read.
For the Egyptians buried all their firstborn, which the Lord had smitten among them.
After God destroyed their god, Anubis. Read.
Upon their gods also the Lord executed judgment.
The God what?
Upon their gods also the Lord executed judgment.
That's why I called the class Moses the God Slayer. Because every single plague that Moses dealt with, he was destroying a god. God was destroying the gods of Egypt. That's why he said he brought plagues upon their gods. Read it again.
Upon their gods also the Lord executed judgment.
The Lord executed judgments upon the gods of Egypt by Moses' hand. Read.
And the children of Israel removed from Ramses.
Remove from who?
Removed from
They
Ramses.
left Ramses. Read.
And pitched in Succoth.
All right, so that's how you know Ramses was the ruling pharaoh at that time. All right, let's go to the next picture. Harper's Bible Dictionary. Pull it up. IT, you with me? Yeah, pull it up. All right. Read that.
Harper's Bible Dictionary.
All right, let's go to the first one. 2B, 2A and 2B. Yeah, read that.
2A, 2B. Fresco paintings from the western wall of the 3rd century AD synagogue at Dura Europus.
So in 3rd century AD, this is at a synagogue in Dura Europus. Read on.
A city on the Euphrates River in Syria.
So Dura Europus is a city on the Euphrates River in Syria. Let's just read the whole thing.
The top panel, the consecration of the tabernacle and its priests, is dominated by the figure of Aaron.
So Aaron's on this portrait. Go ahead.
Portrayed as high priest in his robes of office.
Come on.
Beside him is a temple-like structure, the
All right.
tabor.
Next picture. Go ahead.
At the right, 2B depicts Moses.
Depicts who?
Depicts Moses.
Who?
Depicts Moses.
Moses! Read.
3 times.
3 times it depicts Moses. Let's read about that. Go ahead.
From far right to left. Moses strides toward the Red Sea with staff.
So now we know, okay, in the picture we're going to see Moses strive toward the Red Sea with a staff. We might only have 2 pictures, but go ahead.
Upraised, leading the ancient Israelites out of Egypt.
Go ahead.
Represented by the wall with the red and black columns in front.
So the ancient Israelites were led by Moses out of Egypt. We've shown you earlier that the ancient Israelites were not white people. They were not Edomites. The ancient Israelites were black. You could tell them I said it. Read.
Which symbolized the pillars of fire and cloud that led the Israelites through the wilderness by...
That's it. So show me the picture. Hit the bomb button. Hit the bomb button. So look at this, right? Moses' clothes are white. They're white. There's white raiment. Look at that. Look at his hair. That's a fro. That's a fro. That's a fro. Look at the next picture. Look at that. Look at his clothes. They're white. That's a black man. Moses is not an Edomite. That's a black man. His clothes, look at the depiction between his clothes and his skin. That's dark skin. That's darker than white. If he was an Edomite, his skin would look just like his raiment. But it doesn't, because he's black. Look at his fro. Look at his bearded fro. Only black people have that. That's the good stuff right there. That's some good stuff. So let's read about a little bit of history on our forefather Moses from the tribe of Levi. Let's go to Exodus chapter 2 and verse 1.
Book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Come on.
And there went a man of the house of Levi.
Read.
And took to wife a daughter of Levi.
So who is this man out of the house of Levi? Go to 1 Chronicles 6 and verse 3. Who is this man out of the house of Levi? Because I remember when I was growing up, I never knew what his name was, but the Bible does say his name. 1 Chronicles 6 and verse 3.
Book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 6 and verse 3.
Start at verse 1.
Verse 1. The sons of Levi.
The sons of who?
The sons of Levi.
The sons of Levi. If you didn't know, I'm a Levite too. Ha. Read.
Gershon.
Uh-huh.
Kohath.
Read.
And Merari. And the sons of Kohath.
The sons of Kohath.
Amram.
Who?
Amram.
Who?
Amram.
So Kohath was the father of Amram. Read.
Izhar. And Hebron. And Uzziel.
Read.
And the children of Amram.
The children of Amram. Who is that?
Aaron.
Who?
Aaron.
Okay.
And Moses. And Miriam.
So bam. Aaron, Moses, and Miriam came from Amram, who came from Kohath, who came from Levi. So his father's name was what?
Amram.
Amram. All praise. So now go back to Exodus chapter 2, verse 1.
Book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And there went a man of the house of Levi and took to
Actually,
wife.
from there, go to Exodus 6 and verse 20, because it says, there went a man of the house of Levi and took to wife a daughter of Levi. So there's two Levites, just like my great-great-grandfather. Go ahead.
And Amram took him Jochebed.
Who?
Jochebed.
Who?
Jochebed.
Jochebed. Amram took Jochebed. So it said a man of the house of Levi took him a wife. So this is Amram that took Jochebed. Read.
His father's sister to wife.
Go ahead.
And she bare him Aaron and Moses.
Read.
The years of life, and the years of the life of Amram were 137 years.
So bam, 137 years Amram lived. Amram took Jochebed to wife. So now read Exodus 2 and one more time.
Book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Come on.
And there went a man of the house of Levi.
So this is Amram. He was the man of the house of Levi. Read.
And took to wife a daughter of Levi.
He took to wife Jochebed. That's what this is saying. Read on.
And the woman conceived.
She conceived.
And bare a son. And when she saw him, that he was goodly child.
He was a goodly child. I wish I had the book of Josephus. I would have showed you how. I don't know if you guys can find it. It might take a minute. Don't worry about it. I would have showed you how when it says he was a goodly child, Moses was a different type of kid. When Pharaoh's daughter took in Moses, he was a different type of kid. When you read the book of Josephus, it said Moses would sit at Pharaoh's seat and put the crown on his head and do certain things, foreshadowing how he was going to take over the land of Egypt with the word, with the power of God. That's some good stuff right there. That's good history for your bones, for your head top. Read on.
She hid him 3 months. And when she could not longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes.
Come on.
And dabbed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein. And she laid it in the flags by the river's brink.
So she put him in this little basket thing. Read.
And his sister stood afar off to wit.
Who was his sister? Go to 1 Chronicles 6 and 3. One more time. Who was his sister that stood afar off? Let's see the sister of Moses. We all know who it is, but we're going to prove with the word of God. Go ahead.
Book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 6, and verse 3.
Read.
And the children of Amram, Aaron, and Moses.
The children of Amram, what?
Aaron and Moses.
And
Miriam.
And
Miriam.
Miriam was the sister that we're reading about in Exodus 2. Go back to Exodus 2 and verse, where we left off at? 6? No, 4. Yep. We'll read this whole chapter.
Yes, sir. Book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 4.
Come on.
And his sister stood afar off to wit what will be done to him.
So bam, the mom puts Moses into this little bulrush basket thing. His sister is behind a tree like, what's going to happen to my little bro? That's my little bro. I mess with dude. That's my little bro right there. What's going to happen? She stands afar off. Come on.
And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river. And her maidens walked along by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it.
So she's down there washing herself with her big forehead. And she looks and she sees an ark. She said, what is that? Nefertiri de Bushagach. Grab that little ark right there and bring it here. Come on.
And when she had opened it, she saw the child.
She opened the ark. She's like, oh, there's a baby in this John. Go ahead.
And behold, the babe wept.
Now the babe start crying. Go ahead.
And she had compassion on him.
Now she said, oh, look at the little baby. Look at the little. Then she said, oh, he's so cute. Watch this.
And said, this is one of the Hebrews' children.
How did she know that he was one of the Hebrews' children? What does it say? Hebrew on his forehead? How the hell did she know? She opened the baby thing. She said, oh, it's a little baby. Hey, this is one of the Hebrews' kids. Did it say Hebrew on his chest like Superman? Hebrew. Is that what it said? Go to Leviticus chapter 12. Or you know what? I like Genesis 17 because it's before. Go to Genesis 17. I ain't had this written down, but we're going to find it though. Genesis 17:15.
Book of Genesis, chapter 17 and verse 15.
Sorry, verse 10.
Verse 10. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after
So
thee.
this is the covenant God made with Abraham that he said, read verse 5 real quick.
Verse 5. Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram.
Now you're going to level up. Your name is not going to be Abram no more. It's going to be what?
But thy name shall be called Abraham.
You're going to be called Abraham. It's time to level up now, Abraham. Go ahead.
For a father of many nations have I made thee.
Now I named you Abraham. Read verse 7.
Verse 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee. And thy seed after thee.
Is Israel. Thy seed after thee is Israel. That's the covenant that God made with us. Go ahead.
And their generations for an everlasting covenant.
For how long?
An everlasting covenant.
Read.
To be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee.
Now jump to verse 10.
Verse 10. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you, and thy seed after thee. Every man-child among you shall be circumcised.
Every what?
Every man-child among you shall be circumcised.
Every man-child among you shall be circumcised. So, read verse 11 now.
Verse 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
Verse 12.
Verse 12. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every man-child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed.
So you see, we had to circumcise our children even in the time of Abraham down. Even before Moses gave the law to the 12 tribes, our kids were circumcised. So Abraham, the covenant with Abraham, he said, read verse 11 one more time.
Verse 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin.
Come on.
And it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
Come on.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you.
So just like, I was circumcised the 8th day, you supposed to be circumcised on the 8th day as a baby. Now, how did she know Moses was an Israelite kid? Go back to Exodus chapter 2 and verse 2.
Book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Because remember, she opened the thing up. The baby's crying. She opened it up. She looked. She said, hey, this is a Hebrews kid. Now, we know Hebrew is not tatted on his chest. We know Hebrew is nowhere in the thing that say, she didn't pick up no pamphlet to say, Moses, a child of the Hebrews. None of that. She looked at him and could tell because of the sign betwixt us and God. Go back to verse 2 right quick.
Book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Read.
And the woman conceived and bare a son.
Come on.
And when she saw him, that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months.
How long did she hide him?
She hid him 3 months.
So 3 months old, he was 3 months when he saw or got put in that ark bulrush thing and sent to Pharaoh's daughter. So that's after 8 days. So Moses was what? Circumcised. Circumcised. That's how she knew this not an Egyptian kid. Look at his forehead. Then she looked down, I just keep saying the forehead thing. Look, come on, pull up a picture of a Nilo, bro. You think I'm just playing when I say the forehead. I want to see a picture of a Nilo. I want to see a forehead. That's why I keep talking about the forehead. Pull up a picture of the forehead. Find one. Yes. You got one already? Oh, yeah, find one. Let me know when you got it. So she knew he was an Israelite because he was circumcised. Read verse 7 or 6 one more time.
Verse 6. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, And behold, the babe wept.
The babe cried.
And she had compassion on him and said, this is one of the Hebrews' children.
She said, hey, this is one of the Hebrews' children. I know this is one of the Hebrews' children. This little boy right here, his forehead looks normal. It's not like a crater. It's not like it doesn't look like a meteorite coming out of his forehead. And he's circumcised. But mostly, I'm just talking about the forehead. I'm just joking. But she knew he was an Israelite because he was circumcised. All right, read on. You got a picture? Y'all he-heeing back there. Pull up a picture. Yes, look at the forehead. Look at the cheekbones. That's a Nilo. Give me another one. Show the female. Look at that. Look at that. She looked at that baby and said, that's not an Israelite. You know, mostly because he's obviously circumcised. But the forehead looks Israelitish. It doesn't look Nilotish. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Pull that up. Look at the forehead. Look at the forehead. Look. That's a Watusi. She's probably 9'3". Manute Bull. You know what I'm saying? Look at the forehead. That's how you know Moses was not an Egyptian. She looked, I'm just saying, but obviously we know through the scriptures. You can take that off the screen. Take that 7'3" female off the screen. Good God. She could dunk on you. No, but understand, when she looked at Moses, she said, this is a goodly child. This is one of the Hebrews' children because he was circumcised. Read verse 7.
Verse 7. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter.
Then his sister, remember his sister was hiding behind a tree. She was hiding. She was trying to see what's going on with her brother. She run up. You know, I don't know what kind of, because obviously this is royalty she's dealing with. This is not no normal person. So she didn't just run up like a black woman and say, hey, yo, what up, though? She didn't do that. She didn't just run up and say, what it is, man. She ain't do none of that.
What is this?
She ran up and said, you know, long live the king of Pharaoh and raw BS, whatever. Read on.
Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew woman?
He said, she came up, let the daughter of God live forever. Do you want me to go grab one of the Hebrew women and take care of that Hebrew baby, seeing that he's circumcised? Go ahead.
That she may nurse the child for thee.
This is called wisdom. That's wisdom right there that Miriam was using. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the maid went and called the child's mother.
Look, all she said, go. You know what I'm saying? That's the Pharaoh's daughter. She's obviously royalty. Go. Go, let's do this thing for me. She said it in whatever language she was using. Go. Read.
And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, take this child away and nurse it for me.
Take this what?
Take this child away and nurse it for me.
So Pharaoh's daughter said, go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. Read verse 8 again.
Verse 8. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the maid went and called the child's mother.
He said, go. And Miriam ran and got her mom. That's wisdom. That little girl was using wisdom right there. That's some good stuff. She said she noticed her mom had to give up the baby. Why did she have to give up the baby? Go back to Exodus chapter 1 and verse 12.
Book of Exodus chapter 1 and verse 12.
Come on.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
Read.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
To serve with rigor in slavery. Remember we read Judith 5 and 11? We were slaves in Egypt. Come on.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage.
Come on.
In mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field.
Read.
All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah.
Read.
And the name of the other, Puah.
Shiphrah and Puah. Go ahead.
And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew woman.
So check it out. They said, look, when you do the office of a midwife, when you deliver these babies, what do? Come on.
And see them upon the stools. If it be a son, then ye shall kill them.
What should you do?
Then ye shall kill them.
You shall kill him. Read.
But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
Read.
But the midwives feared God.
They said, I'm not killing no Israelite kid. You crazy? I fear God. The Bible said, God said, thou shalt not kill. Come on.
And did not as the king of Egypt commanded them.
Come on.
But saved the men children alive.
Read.
And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women.
He said, we don't do what y'all do. We don't got them foreheads. Pull the foreheads up one more time. Pull the foreheads up one more time. Yes! He said, we not like y'all. Pull up the 9'3" women. Pull up the 9'3" women. Yes. Pull them up. Where they at, though? Look at that. We don't do this. We not like y'all. Look at the one on the left in the blue. Go back. All right, take it off the screen. He said, we not like y'all. Read it again. Verse 19.
Verse 19. And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women.
Come on.
For they are lively.
We are what?
They are lively.
We're lively. We're not boring like these big forehead Egyptian women. Read.
And are delivered the midwives coming unto them. Therefore God dealt well with the midwives.
Therefore God blessed those midwives. Read.
And the people multiplied and waxed very mighty.
Just like in America, we are multiplying and waxed mighty. We are far strong. You seen what happened at Alabama. Was that Alabama? When my man, Aquaman, he swam over and got to Macon? He was mean. We are far more powerful than these other nations. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
So now, because Jochebed wanted to save her son Moses' life, she put him in that bulrush and sent him. Now Miriam uses wisdom before the face of the daughter of Pharaoh and says, hey, I see you like this Hebrew baby. Do you want me to go and get a Hebrew woman to nurse the child? Seeing you don't have no kids. Your little big forehead maidens don't got no kids. But I know a maiden that got a kid. You want me to go grab her? And Pharaoh's daughter was like, yeah. She said, go. Read verse 9 in chapter 2.
Book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 9. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her,
unto Jochebed, go ahead.
take this child away and nurse it for me.
Read.
And I will give thee thy wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it.
So that's Moses' mom was able to stay with her son. All praise to the Most High. Read.
And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter.
So now the child is bigger now, and she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter. Read.
And he became her son.
Now Moses became the son of Pharaoh, Pharaoh's daughter. Go ahead.
And she called his name Moses. And she said, because I drew him out of the water.
So Moses means drawn out of water. Read verse 11.
And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brothers.
So Moses always knew who he was. There wasn't a time, I think in the Prince of Egypt, it's as if Moses never knew who he was. Moses always knew he was an Israelite. He grew up as an Israelite. He knew he was circumcised. He knew all of that stuff. He knew who his brethren were. He's seen them in the midst of slavery. Go ahead.
And he looked this way and that way.
So check this out. In the I don't know if y'all can pull up a video. Can y'all pull up the Prince of Egypt when Moses killed that Egyptian dude? Because we're gonna dispel some myths today. We're gonna dispel a myth today, and it's already 6 a.m. I'm not even halfway done. We got 2 hours. It's already 6 a.m. It's crazy. I'm gonna have to speed the hell up. You got a video? Huh? No. I want the video of Moses and the Egyptian and the Prince of Egypt. Just type in Moses and the Egyptian. All right. Read verse 11 one more time.
Verse 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren.
Come on.
And looked on their burdens.
He looked on their burdens.
And he spied an Egyptian smiting in Hebrew.
He saw an Egyptian smiting in Hebrew. So the Egyptian, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Hebrew is crying, screaming, right? Go ahead.
One of his brethren.
He knew that was his brother. So that's the difference. A lot of times we grew up watching Disney movies. We saw the Prince of Egypt. We thought the exact way the Prince of Egypt was, that's how Moses was. I'm telling you, I thought that for years, my whole life. I thought Moses pushed the dude off of the big thing, and then the dude died. That's what I thought happened. That's not what happened. You got the video? Come on, pull it up. Oh, it's an ad plan? All right, read verse 12.
Verse 12. And he looked this way and that way.
So look at Moses, premeditated murder. Look how Moses did it. He said, what is he looking for? Why is he looking? He's looking for a guard. That's what that is. He looked this way and he looked that way. Read on.
And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian.
So play the video. This is what I always thought happened. Play that.
More splendid than any other monument in Upper or Lower Egypt.
Hope we don't get a strike.
Moses! Look, fate has turned our little misadventure into a great opportunity. I know Father will be so pleased with what you are. Put your back into it! Faster!
That's Miriam and Aaron right there.
This
They're
is
black!
the beginning.
The hell is this? They don't look like no damn Arabs.
They will open an entire new city of white limestone, more dazzling than the sun.
Miriam had a fro, man.
A step
You ain't see Curse of Miriam, you got the devil on you.
two great column halls.
Stop it! Somebody's got to stop this!
There's nothing that we can do. Stop! Stop it! Leave that man alone!
Moses!
Out of my way! Move! Who did this?
Up there! It's him! There!
Okay, stop. God's people is not no damn Arabs. Them people look like Arabs. They are not Arabic, for one. For two, when I watched that movie when I was a little kid, I thought for years that Moses pushed the dude off the top rafters and killed the man. I knew Moses killed the man because I watched that movie and I thought that Moses came and pushed the dude and that's how he killed him. Hell no. Read verse 12 again. Let's see how Moses did this, bro. Go ahead.
Book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 12.
Come on.
And he looked this way.
So we didn't see that in the movie. Damn, playing stuff outside of the scriptures. They adding to the scriptures. Moses didn't come and all emotional. It just pushed it. He didn't do that. He said, hold on. He whipping my brother, bro. He might have came. You know what I'm saying? He might have a little quick. He didn't know. He didn't see that in the movie. Because he looked this way and he that way and he did what? Read it again.
And he looked this way and that way.
Come on.
And when he saw that there was no man, he slew
He saw there was no guard around. He seen a dude hit his brother. There ain't no guards around here. You got to think how Moses was thinking. Where the guard at? I'm finna kill this big forehead dude. He looking. No, I'm all right. Ain't nobody around. Because he smote him. What does that mean? He punched him in his face? He probably had a sword. Something. Read on.
And he hid him in the sand.
So look, he ran up and hit him in the sand. He ran up, pieced him up on some Assassin's Creed type stuff. He came up, Altair, hit him with the little thing, put him to death, and threw him in the sand. Look, that's cold. That's not what you see in the movie. Moses wasn't no punk, bro. He didn't, oh God, no. He wasn't doing all that. He ran up there, he touched my brother. Hit him in the sand. Read it again. Read it one more time, bro.
Book of Exodus, chapter 2, and verse 12.
Come on.
And he looked this way and that way.
Yes.
And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian.
Yeah. And what?
And hit him in the
So
sand.
he ran, bro. I'm gonna give you the whole synopsis. Dude hits his brother. You see, man, boom, hit your brother. You piss you off. What the hell? How dare? Moses probably had guards with him. Right? He's a prince. He probably had guards with him. He looking. Moses wasn't no chump. He was a high up status. So he looking, Tutmos, rob a guy. Go stand over there. Go stand over there. Yeah, go around the corner. He looked, other guards. All right. Yo, stand watch. He and then hit him in the sand. He hit him in the sand. All right. Boom. Now, nothing happens after that. Nothing. Watch this. Read verse 13.
Verse 13. And when he went out the second day.
But this is the thing. A black man saw him do that. He saw him run up, dig the sand, put the sand over him. This is me shoveling sand. And then he looked around. Nobody was there. He just ran off. Now read on.
Behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together.
Now 2 Hebrews is fighting.
And he said,
I thought of something. I don't want to be vulgar. You know what I'm saying? They were fighting. Yeah, yo, nigga, what you talking about? I'll beat your, you know what I'm saying? They fighting. Oh, whoop yo, man, you talk too broad. I'll piece you up out here. Whatever. There's something to do it in Hebrew. Go ahead. Bakasim Rakadah. Go ahead.
And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow?
Bro, why you hitting your brother, man? It's your brother. Don't do that. Read on.
And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us?
Who is you? Read.
Intendest thou to kill me as thou killedst the Egyptian?
What?
And intendest thou to kill me as thou killedst the Egyptian?
So he might not even have heard that, but it's a rumor now. Hey, yo, I heard Moses came up and an Egyptian. He came and smote an Egyptian. He fell upon an Egyptian. Hey, you gonna kill me like you killed? That's a black man all day. Oh, what's up? Oh, who made you a prince over me? You won't kill me like you did old homeboy? Moses like, oh, how the hell you know about that? I dug dude in the sand. Oh, I got to get the hell up out of here. Read on.
And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known.
He said, what?
Surely this thing is known.
Bro, that's not what we saw in Prince of Egypt. He pushed that dude. Oh, no. Stop it. They're all that weak, soft stuff. Moses wasn't like that, bro. Moses ran up. Nigga, who you touching? Don't touch my people. Put him in the sand. Somebody seen it. And then he said, oh, shoot. Yo, they know. Surely this thing is known. I got to get the hell out of here. I don't care what relationships I got with y'all people, y'all big forehead people. I'm gone. But Pharaoh find out and I'm a dead man. Read.
Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses.
In the movie, Pharaoh was with Moses. Right? I guess that was his father was still alive, but pretty much Pharaoh's son, the king, was with Moses. So you should have been, that's not what happened in the scriptures. Moses killed the Egyptian. The thing might become known. Now he said Pharaoh heard it. So now black people talking to each other, the guard hears it. Hey, what you say? Yeah, man, hey, Moses, man, I seen bro, he came up. Yeah, bro. And then the story probably turned crazy. And Moses had a big, he had an axe, he cut dude's head off. He threw the head down the street. Oh, he did what? Hey, bro, they was playing soccer with the head. playing stick, kicked it down, and he said, go, bro, it was crazy. I seen the whole thing. You know how black people do. Rumor turned into, all Moses did was come up, you know what I'm saying? All Moses did was come up and smite dude. That's what it said in the scriptures. And then dug him in the sand. But black people turned the story into something crazy. And then now Pharaoh hears it. Read.
Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses.
He said, I'm going to kill Moses' ass.
But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh.
Yes.
And dwelt in the land of Midian.
Uh-huh.
And he sat down by a well.
So down, bam. Moses leaves Egypt and goes to Midian. So now let's read a little bit about the works and the acts of Moses. Go to Sirach chapter 44, verse 22.
Book of Sirach, chapter 44 and verse 22.
Got to speed up a little bit because it's already 6. Good Lord. Go ahead.
With Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake.
Come on.
The blessing of all men.
So with Isaac came God's blessing. Read.
And the covenant. And made it rest upon the head of Jacob.
So now, from Abraham, the covenant sits, remember we read in Genesis 17, the covenant was given to Abraham. Now it sits on the head of Isaac. Boom, now it goes down to Jacob. Read on.
He acknowledged him in his blessing.
Read.
And gave him inheritance. And divided his portions among the 12 tribes.
So Jacob now gets the blessing, and now he divides his blessing, his portions, to the 12 tribes of Israel. One of the sons of Israel was Levi. One of the sons of Jacob was Levi. Now read 45 and verse 1.
Book of Sirach, chapter 45 and verse 1.
Come on.
And he brought out of him a merciful man.
He brought out of him a what?
A merciful man.
He brought out of him a merciful man. Out of Jacob, out of Levi, out of Kohath, out of Amram comes who? Read.
Which found favor in the sight of all flesh.
A merciful man who found favor in the sight of all flesh, even though he came up and, you know what I'm saying? Read.
Even Moses.
Even who?
Even Moses.
Moses. Come on.
Beloved of God and man, whose memorial is blessed.
Bro, we still talk about Moses to this day. That's a blessed memorial. All nations still talk about Moses and what he did to this day. Come on.
He made him like to the glorious saints.
Damn, he made him like the glorious saints. Read.
And magnify him, so that his enemies stood in fear of him.
Right. Moses wasn't no punk. Even though he seen Prince of Egypt, Moses wasn't soft. He wasn't emotional like that. He loved God. He was a serious man about his business. And he was beloved of God and men. And his enemies feared him. Why? Because Moses was a God slayer. We're going to show you what I mean by it. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Go ahead.
By his words, he caused the wonders to cease.
Come on.
And he made him glorious in the sight of kings.
God made him glorious in the sight of pharaohs. Read.
And gave him a commandment for his people. And showed him part of his glory.
When it says it showed him part of his glory, that's when Christ walked by Moses in his true form. And Moses' face shone as he came down from the mountain. Read.
He sanctified him in his faithfulness and meekness, and chose him out of all men.
So Moses was chosen out of all men. That's heavy. Read on.
He made him to hear his voice.
Read.
And brought him into the dark cloud.
Remember, he was up there for 40 days and 40 nights in the dark cloud, in the chariot. You thought the UFOs were aliens. You watch a movie called Three Body Problem. What's that? A Netflix show called Three Body Problem. And you think the aliens are some weird scientific beings. Hell no! The aliens are the angels. All you think Esau goes to the moon, he sees a big black man walking around playing with fire, doing crazy things he never saw in his life, things he saw on a damn TV screen. He come home bugged the hell out. He come home like, yo, the people we got in slavery that we act like they niggas, they up in space doing tricks and they look beautiful. They look crazy. I never seen a garment like that. His garment changed colors every 2 minutes. It's crazy. Why are we having these people in slavery? We need to treat them like gods. No, put him in Area 51. Leave his ass alone. He's tripping. We got to fight the aliens. You know what I'm saying? The aliens are the prophets. The aliens are the angels of God. Go ahead.
And gave him commandments before his face. Even the law of life and knowledge.
So God gave Moses the law of life and knowledge face to face. Read.
That he might teach Jacob his covenants and Israel his judgments.
Come on.
He exalted Aaron,
his brother,
and holy man like unto him.
A holy man just like Moses. And when you watch this, see, Esau's the devil the Bible speaks of. When you watch that movie, Aaron was soft. When you watch Prince of Egypt, bro, it makes you look like Aaron was a punk. Aaron was no punk. Aaron was a holy man just like Moses. Read.
He exalted Aaron, and holy man like unto him, even his brother of the tribe of Levi.
Come on.
An everlasting covenant he made with him, and gave him the priesthood among the people.
Read.
He beautified him with comely ornaments, and clothed him with a robe of glory.
Come on.
He put upon him perfect glory.
Perfect what?
Perfect glory.
Perfect what?
Perfect glory.
Man, what does that even look like? Perfect glory was on Aaron. Wow. Read.
And strengthened him with rich garments, with breeches. With
So
a
now he's going to explain what the garment was like. Jump down to 13 for time's sake.
Verse 13. Before him there were none such.
There was nothing like Aaron when he stood up with that cold garment. Go ahead.
Neither did ever any stranger put them on.
Read.
But only his children and his children's children perpetually.
Right, went down to Eleazar and his son after that. Read.
Their sacrifices shall be wholly consumed every day, twice continually.
Read verse 15.
Verse 15. Moses consecrated him and anointed him with holy oil.
We're the most holy oil you can find. Go ahead.
This was appointed unto him by an everlasting covenant, and to his seed, so long as the heavens should remain, that they should minister unto him, and execute the office of the priesthood, and bless the people in his name.
That's heavy right there. So let's go to Baruch 1 and 15. That's heavy right there. We just read about Moses and Aaron, right? There were some serious brothers over God's heritage, some serious black men. They were not Esau. They were black. Let's prove that. Go to Exodus 4 right quick. Real quick. I didn't have this written down. I'm shooting from the hip. We showed pictures of how Moses used to look, how Moses looked in his flesh. Now read Exodus 4 and 5.
Book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 5.
Come on.
That they may believe that the Lord God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob.
We just read that in Sirach 44. The God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, who God gave his commandments to. Read.
Have appeared unto thee.
Read.
And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom.
So, man, watch this. Moses, this is how you know Moses was no white man. He said, put your hand into your bosom. If Moses was already leprous, if Moses was already an Edomite, if he was an Edomite, right? Let's humor for a second. If Moses was an Edomite, when he put his hand like this into his bosom and brought it out, if he was Esau, would it be crazy if his hand went in white and came out white? Huh? So that's like when you drive a car through a car wash. It come out white, go in white, it come out white. You ain't tripping. Now, if your car came in black, and when you got out the car wash, it was white, you'd be like, what the hell? Where's my car? You would be tripping. You weren't tripping, your car was white, it came out white. You know, oh, it's shiny. Hey. You're not tripping. But when it's black, it go into the car wash, it come out white. You say, where the hell is my car? How did it get a paint job immediately? This is crazy. What's going on here? This is witchcraft. You be tripping. Read.
And he said, put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
He said, now you got to think how Moses reacted. His hand's black. He's a dark-skinned man. He come out, whoa, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Yo, God, come on. Put it back. Read.
And he said, put thine hand into thy bosom again.
He said, oh, okay. Oh, thank God. Go ahead.
And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
As his other flesh. So he put it in, come out, dark. He said, oh, thank God. The Lord is powerful. I'll never want to go through that again. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had to pray for Miriam when she went through it. He knew it was like that white freaking hand. It looked crazy. So that's how you know Moses was black. So now go back to Baruch chapter 1. I'm going to read verse 15.
Book of Baruch chapter 1 and verse 15.
Come on.
And ye shall say To the Lord our God belongeth righteousness, but unto us the confusion of faces.
Right now we have the confusion of faces. Read on.
As it is come to pass this day unto them of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to our kings, and to our princes, and to our priests,
Read.
and to our prophets,
Read.
and to our fathers.
Read.
For we have sinned before the Lord.
We have what?
For we have sinned before the Lord.
Now it's come upon us, our kings, our princes, our priests, our prophets, our fathers, because we have sinned against God. Read.
And disobeyed him.
Read.
And have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God.
Read.
To walk in the commandments that he gave us openly.
When did he give us openly the commandments? Read on.
Since the day that the Lord brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt.
Out of the land of what?
Out of the land of Egypt.
Read.
Until this present day.
Come on.
We have been disobedient unto the Lord our God.
This is what we say now. This is what we say back in Jeremiah and Baruch's time. And this is what we say now. We've been on disobedience since the day God has given us his commandments by the hand of Moses. Read.
And we have been negligent in not hearing his voice.
Read.
Wherefore the evils cleaved unto us.
Read.
And the curse which the Lord appointed by Moses.
What's the curse God appointed by Moses? That's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 to 68. Now it has cleaved unto us. Read.
By Moses, his servant.
Come on.
At the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt.
Read.
To give us a land that floweth with milk and honey.
Bountiful, plentiful land. Read.
Like as it is to see this day.
Like we see it in Brooktown, like they saw this day. The land is beautiful and plenteous, but we have not done what God has commanded us. Come on.
Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God, according unto all the words of the prophets, whom he sent unto us.
Read.
But every man followed the imagination of his own wicked heart.
To do what?
To serve strange gods.
And to do what?
And to do evil in the sight of the Lord our God.
So that's what we see today. That's what we seen after Moses' time. That's what we see in Baruch and Jeremiah's time. And that's what we see right now. Everyone follows the imagination of his own wicked heart, and we serve strange gods. There's 300 different gods in America. You don't even know you serve them. There's 300 different gods. There's gods for everything you see. Nike is a god. All of that stuff is idolatry. I just found out basketball goes in ball is the same thing as Baal. What? Basketball is idolatry. It is all of that stuff. Why do you think brothers, when they sit in a, what's that thing called? A barbershop, can sit there and talk about that basketball that they idolize and worship for hours? Because it really has had something to do with idolatry. All right, from there, go to 2 Ezra 1 and 13. 2 Ezra chapter 1 and verse 13.
Book of 2 Ezra chapter 1 and verse 13.
Watch this.
I led you through the sea, and in the beginning gave you a large and safe passage.
Come on.
I gave you Moses for a leader.
He gave Moses for a what?
For a leader.
God gave us Moses for a leader. Read.
And Aaron for a priest.
And Aaron for a priest. Come on.
I gave you light and a pillar of fire.
And chariot. Read.
And great wonders have I done among you.
What happened?
Yet have you forgotten me, saith the Lord.
He said, look, I've done all of these great wonders, yet have you forgotten me, saith the Lord. Read.
Thus saith the Almighty Lord, the quails were as a token for you.
Remember in the wilderness, God gave us quails to eat because we were talking about God behind his back, talking about would that we would be back in Egypt to eat some quail. Read.
I gave you tents for your safeguard.
Come on.
Nevertheless, ye murmured there.
You murmured there. Read.
And triumph not in my name for the destruction of your enemies.
You wasn't thinking about how I destroyed your enemies. You wasn't triumphing in my name. Now as we come to serve God's Passover, we should be triumphing in his name for what he did for us in the land of Egypt. Read.
But ever to this day, do ye yet murmur?
Even to this day. To this day. You ain't got that sound bite? To this day you murmur. Read.
Where are the benefits that I have done for you?
He said, where are the benefits that I've done for you? Come on.
When ye were hungry and thirsty in the wilderness, did ye not cry unto me?
When you were hungry and thirsty in the wilderness, didn't you cry unto me and I helped you? Come on.
Saying, why hast thou brought us into the wilderness to kill us?
Come on.
It had been better for us to have served the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness.
That's black people always complaining about something. Black people always complaining about something. Well, you should have just left us in Egypt so we could die. Why did you bring us out here to die, bro? You got to think about that. God destroyed every single god of Egypt. He did so many wonders. I don't even know if I have time to discuss it. He did so many wonders in Egypt, which I'm going to have to just skip some of this stuff and go to it. He did so many things in Egypt that it's crazy that we would leave the land and say, God, you did all of that stuff to destroy us in Egypt. We had the devil on us. That's why he said, this whole generation, y'all niggas got to go. Y'all got to go. Read.
Then I had pity upon your mournings and gave you manna to eat.
Damn, what is manna? Manna is the angel's food. That's a heavenly food. You've never even seen manna. You never smelled manna. You'll last crazy. Manna is something that you couldn't even fathom. When you taste it, it tastes like whatever you want it to taste like. You want some fried chicken, you eat it, you got it. You want some green beans, you eat it, you got it. You want some steak, you ate it, you got it. That's crazy. Go ahead.
So ye did eat angel's bread. When ye were thirsty, did I not cleave the rock, and waters flowed out of your field?
Read.
For the heat I covered you with the leaves of the trees.
Read.
I divided among you a fruitful land. I cast out the Canaanites.
Killed the Canaanites and threw them out.
The Pharisees.
Same thing.
And the Philistines.
Read.
Before you.
Those are Africans. Read.
What shall I yet do more for you?
What else I got to do? Damn. That's what God is saying. What else I got to do, man? I killed all these people. I did all this stuff. Golly. Have some gratitude. Read.
Come on, man.
Thus saith the Almighty Lord, when ye were in the wilderness in the river of the Amorites, being athirst, and blaspheming my name,
talking smack, lying. Read.
I gave you not fire for your blasphemy.
He said, I could have smoked you. I could have smoked you, but I didn't do it. I had mercy. Read.
But cast a tree in the water and made the river sweet.
Come on.
What shall I do unto thee, O Jacob, thou Judah? Wouldest not obey me? I will turn me to other nations.
He said, I'm going to deal with somebody else. Read.
And unto those will I give my name.
Come on.
That they may keep my statutes.
Talking about the northern kingdom. Read.
Seeing ye have forsaken me, I will forsake you also.
He said, I'm done with you, Judah. I'm going to deal with northern kingdom. Y'all pissing me off. At this time, northern kingdom wasn't even dealing with Israel. It was another nation at this point. Read.
When ye desire me to be gracious unto you, I shall have no mercy upon you.
He said, I'm not playing with y'all no more. I had mercy all of this time, but look what you've done. I'm not playing with y'all no more. So from there, go to Hebrews 11 and verse 23. Let's speed it up a little bit so that we can get to the gods of Egypt. Hebrews 11. Y'all might want to start preparing all of the Wikipedias. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got a lot. Oh, you already did it. You all right, IT. Look at that. You all right. Go ahead. What you got?
Book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 23.
Come on.
By faith, Moses.
By what?
By faith.
By faith. Moses did what?
Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents.
Remember we read he was hid 3 months of his parents. We just read that. Go ahead.
Because they saw he was a proper child.
They saw he was a proper child. Moses was a good child. He was circumcised on the 8th day, all that good stuff. Read.
And they were not afraid of the king's commandment.
Who was that? That was Shipher and Pul. We just read about them. They weren't afraid of the king's commandment. They said the Hebrew women aren't like you nasty, big forehead Nilotes. The Hebrew women are lively. You guys are boring. What do they be saying? Oh, yes, I do it. Nilotes are boring. Your big foreheads. Looking like, Good.
By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
Don't call me that no more. Bro, that's what I'm saying. Prince of Egypt got you all twisted. You got to read the Bible and stop watching Prince of Egypt like that. Read the Bible. You thought Moses was soft. You thought he was... No, Moses, you touched my brother? He mink you up right quick. He came and smoked dude. Moses could have been so cold, he punched him one time and the dude died. Bah! Oh, his head just exploded. You know what I'm saying? Moses wasn't no chump. But y'all got Esau portraying him like he's soft. Hell no, get your mind right. Go ahead.
Choosing rather to suffer affliction.
Moses said, I would rather suffer affliction than what?
With the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
Than to do what?
Than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
Read.
esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt.
Damn, so the Spirit of Christ was also back then, and it was in Moses. He said he esteemed the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. That's why he came up and got my man out of there. Go ahead.
For he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
Come on.
By faith he forsook Egypt.
By faith he forsook what?
He forsook Egypt.
Moses was a boss in Egypt. He was paid. He had guards. He had all of those things. He was cold in the Egyptian language. He grew up strong. He forsook all of that because he esteemed the reproach of Christ greater riches. Read.
Not fearing the wrath of the king. For he endured as seeing him who is invisible.
As seeing him who is invisible. That's heavy right there. All right, from there, go to Acts 7 and 20. I'm going to skip some of these scriptures. Acts chapter 7 and verse 20.
Book of Acts, chapter 7 and verse 20.
Come on.
In which time Moses was born and was exceeding fair.
Read.
And nourished up in his father's house 3 months.
Come on, 3. So remember, he was 3 months old. Read.
And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son.
And nourished him for her own son. Come on.
And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians.
Remember I said Moses was cold in the language of Egypt. He was learned. Remember, you would think when Moses told God, let's go to it. I think it's Exodus 4. Real quick. I don't want to butcher it. Remember the Lord said to him, who made man's mouth? Verse 12. Verse 11. Nope, verse 10.
Book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 10.
Read.
And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent.
He said, my Hebrew sucks. That's what that means. My Hebrew sucks. I'm terrible at speaking Hebrew. Because when we read Acts 7, where were we at? Verse 22. Read that one more time. Let me go right back.
Book of Acts, chapter 7 and verse 22. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians.
Read.
And was mighty in words and in deeds.
He was mighty in what?
He was mighty in words and in deeds.
So Moses had a reputation for being mighty in Egypt. That's how when he said he came up and smoked the Egyptian, bro, I'm talking about he came up and he didn't have to do that. He came up and bow, my man head destroyed. One punch. He one punch man. This is where they got one punch man. He came up and smoked the Egyptian. Boop, dead. Serious series. Pow, you gone. What is that? Finish him. Boom, dead. One punch. Nothing. Uppercut. Man's head is gone. On some damn Mortal Kombat type stuff. You don't know. Moses was mighty in word and in deed. He wasn't no punk. So he was also mighty. If he was mighty in words, that means his Egyptian language was strong. But he just told God, what? Read Exodus 4 and 10 one more time.
Book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 10. And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent.
He said, my Hebrew sucks. Read.
Neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto my servant. But I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue.
I sound like, that's what I sound like when I try to speak Hebrew. It's terrible. Read on.
And the Lord said unto him, who have made man's mouth.
Who made man's mouth? Don't read the Lord's words. Soft, bro. Who made man's mouth? Read.
Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind. Have not I, the Lord?
Read.
Now therefore go.
He said, stop being soft and go. Come on.
And I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say.
That's heavy right there. I'll teach thee what thou shalt say. Go back to Acts chapter 7, read verse 23.
Book of Acts, chapter 7 and verse 23.
Come on.
And when he was full 40 years old.
So now, when Moses killed that Egyptian man, how old was he?
40 years old.
He was 40. So now, you got to think, 40 years he was in Egypt, waxing strong and mighty in word and in deed. He had the respect of the Egyptians. Read.
It came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel.
He said, you know what? I want to be with my people. Read.
And seeing one of them suffer wrong.
Remember, he was 40 years old. He seen one of them suffer wrong.
He defended him.
He defended him.
And avenged him that was oppressed, and smote the Egyptians.
One punch man. Bah! That's all it took. He could have came up, got him out of there. But he said he smoked the Egyptian. He came up, boom, dead. dead man. One punch in the temple. Boom, done. Read.
Finish him.
Verse 24.
Verse 24. For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that God by his hand would deliver them. But they understood not. And the next day he shewed himself unto them as they strove.
They understood. Remember, the dude was like, hey, are you going to kill me like you killed that Egyptian? I heard about you in the pub. I heard about you, bro. I heard you came in this. I heard you came, took the Egyptian's head, went like that, and destroyed it. You going to kill me too? Moses probably wasn't one of those small dudes. He probably looked like a beast. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And would have set them at one again, saying, Sirs, ye are brethren.
He said, y'all are brothers. What are y'all doing? Read.
Why do ye wrong one to another?
Come on.
But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust him away, saying, Who made thee a ruler and a judge over us? Wilt thou kill me as thou didst the Egyptian yesterday? Then fled Moses as is saying.
He said, I'm out of here, bro. They know I killed this man. Go ahead.
And was a stranger in the land of Midian, where he begat 2 sons.
He had 2 sons in the land of Midian with that Egyptian woman that Miriam was talking smack about. Read.
And when 40 years were expired, there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai an angel of the Lord.
I think Ethiopian woman. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
An angel of the Lord in a flame of fire in a bush.
Who was it?
An angel of the Lord.
An angel of the Lord appeared to him. Read.
In a flame of fire in a bush.
Come on.
When Moses saw it, he wondered at the sight.
He said, what the hell is that? Read.
As he drew near to behold it, the voice of the Lord came unto him.
And what did he say?
Saying, I am the God of thy fathers, the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob.
Read.
Then Moses trembled and durst not behold.
He ain't looking. Whoa. Imagine that. Imagine you walk up and you look. It's a blue bush in there on fire. You say, what the hell is that? You walk up, you walk in there, and the bush start talking. Wouldn't you be tripping? Big fire, and it's like, it's not just normal talking. It probably sounded crazy. I am the God, you know what I'm saying? I am the God of Abraham. You're like, whoa. What would make a man like Moses, who came up punched an Egyptian, say, not even want to look at the bush? That had to be something scary as hell. That had to be something scary as hell, bro. Moses wasn't no punk. He was mighty in word and deed. 40 years on this earth. He's seen it all. Walked up. Bush said, I am the God. He's, oh, shit. He thought he was going to get blasted. Read.
Then said the Lord to him, Put off thy shoes from thy feet, for the place where thou standest is holy ground.
Read.
I have seen the affliction of my people which is in Egypt.
Read.
And I have heard their groaning, and have come down to deliver them.
Come on.
And now come, I will send thee into Egypt.
Read.
This Moses, whom they refused, saying,
They refused, that brother that thrust him away. Read.
Who made thee a ruler and a judge?
Watch this.
The same did God send to be a ruler and a deliverer.
Yeah, God made me a ruler and a judge. Who you talking to? He said, who made you a ruler and a judge? God did. Go ahead.
By the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush.
Read. That's Christ. Read.
He brought them out after that he had showed them wonders and signs in the land of Egypt.
Come on.
And in the Red Sea.
Wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea. We're going to read about that in a second. Go ahead.
And in the wilderness 40 years.
How long?
40 years.
40 years he was in the wilderness. Go ahead.
This is that Moses, which said unto the children of Israel, A prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren like unto me. Him shall ye hear.
Read.
This is he that was in the church in the wilderness.
The what?
This is he that was in the church in the wilderness.
The church is the 12 tribes of Israel. The church is not the church called Holy Baptist Ebenezer the 5th on 2nd Street. That's not the church. That's just a building where Satan dwells. The church is the 12 tribes of Israel. That's how you know, because in verse 38 it says, the church that was in the wilderness. There's only one church that was in the wilderness. That was the 12 tribes. But you go on to Mount Temple, all these dumb names of these churches. Mount Fiskar of the 2nd Ebenezer Evangelist Episcopal Methodist Baptist.
Hell is this?
Big four-headed. Go ahead. Read.
With the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai.
Read.
and with our fathers, who received the lively oracles to give unto us.
The oracles which are alive that was given to us. Read.
To whom our fathers would not obey.
Come on.
But thrust him from them.
Come on.
And in their hearts turned back again into Egypt.
Read.
Saying unto Aaron, make us gods to go before us. For as for this Moses, which brought us out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what has become of him.
We don't know what happened to him because he was up there in that chariot for 40 days and 40 nights. All right, so from there, go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 1. All right, let's get into the God Slayer portion of the class. We discussed Moses. We showed how powerful he was. We showed you how Moses was not like the prince of Egypt. Moses wasn't that soft little skinny boo-boo baby who was all emotional pushing people off of rafters. He didn't do that. He came up and smoked, bro. You know what I'm saying? He smoked that Egyptian. I don't even know look up the word smote. I want to see what that means. That's not a normal Negro word. Smote, S-M-O-T-E. Because he said Moses smote the Egyptian. Let's see what smote means. It'd be nice if it was like, you know what I'm saying, I could see it. Huh? Yeah. Me. All right. You got it? Good. Smote. I'm going to see what this means. Smite, okay.
The definition of smite. Strike him with a firm blow.
Strike what?
Strike with a firm blow.
A firm blow. And now it says he smites the water with his sword. So he could have smote him with a sword. He could have did like I said, you know what I'm saying? 3 quick chops to the heart. Or he could have punched him in his mouth. Blew his whole face up. That was, bro. No. He came up and smote him. Bah! 1 punch. Done. Esau is the devil. All right. 1 Corinthians 8:1.
Book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 8 and verse 1.
Read that.
Now as touching things offered unto idols,
Come on.
we know that we all have knowledge.
So now, as things touching offering to idols, we know that we all have knowledge. We're talking about idolatry right now. This is what Paul is discussing. Come on.
Knowledge puffeth up.
Knowledge will puff people up. Read.
But charity edifies.
But charity is in the spirit of edification, growth in knowledge of God and love for God and man. Read.
And if any man think that he know of anything, he know of nothing.
He knoweth what?
He know of nothing.
He don't know nothing.
Yet as he ought to know.
Watch this.
But if any man love God, the same is known of him.
Read.
As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered and sacrificed unto idols.
Sacrifice unto idols. Read.
We know that an idol is nothing in the world.
We know what?
We know that an idol is nothing in the world.
An idol is nothing in the world. Read.
And that there is none other God but one.
There is only one God, the God of Israel. That's it. Read.
For though there be that are called gods,
though there are those that are called gods,
whether in heaven or in earth,
whether in the sky or in earth, read.
As there be gods many and lords many.
Read.
But to us there is but one God.
But to us there is but one God. Even though there's hundreds of gods in the world, but to us there is but one God. Read.
The Father.
The Father.
Of whom all are things.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. To whom are all things.
Read.
And we in him.
Read.
And one Lord Jesus Christ.
Read.
By whom are all things.
That's John 1:1. Go ahead.
And we by him.
And we by him. Read on.
Howbeit, there is not in every man that knowledge.
Now, there is not in every man that knowledge. And I'm going to show you how Moses had to show that there is not in every man that knowledge. How he had to show the power of God. That there is only one God. Even though there's other people that believe in multiple gods, there is only one God. Moses had to show that power while he was in Egypt. Read.
For some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat. It is as a thing offered unto an idol. And their conscience being weak is defiled.
All right, so from there, let's go to Exodus chapter 12 and verse 12. Now, I used to have this stuff broken down in my Bible for the different names, so bear with me. I'm going to do my best to try to cover every single God before time runs out. I'm going to try to do it. All right? Exodus 12. Read that.
Book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 12.
Read.
For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt.
Come on.
Both man and beast.
Read.
And against all the gods of Egypt.
And against what?
And against all the gods of Egypt.
Against all the gods of Egypt will I smite. That's what happened when the Lord dealt with every plague. When I was growing up, I looked at all of the plagues, I was confused. Why would God do these specific plagues like that? Why did he do the frogs? Why did he do the boils? Why did he do the hail? Why did he do the smiting the firstborn? Maybe when I was young, I thought smiting the firstborn, maybe he's just showing his power. But I didn't understand any of the other plagues. But now I do. And you're going to understand after today. So, the purpose of the plagues was to smite all of the gods of Egypt. Let's go to Exodus 5. Let's see, verse 1.
Book of Exodus, chapter 5 and verse 1.
Come on.
And afterward, Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord God of Israel.
So now Moses rises up as the true prophet of God. Read.
Let my people go.
He said, let my people go. Come on.
That they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness.
That they may do what?
That they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness.
That they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. Come on.
And Pharaoh said, who is the Lord?
He said, what the hell are you talking about? We have Ra. We have Kotesh. We have Put. We have Sobek. Who is this God you speak of? Read.
That I should obey his voice to let Israel go.
Come on.
I know not the Lord.
Read.
Neither will I let Israel go.
Neither will I let Israel go. Come on.
And they said, the God of the Hebrews have met with us. Let us go, we pray thee, 3 days' journey into the desert, and sacrifice unto the Lord our God, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword.
Come on.
And the king of Egypt said unto them, wherefore do ye, Moses and Aaron, let the people from their works get you unto your burdens? And Pharaoh said, behold, the people of the land now are many.
Read.
And ye make them rest from their burdens? And Pharaoh commanded the same day the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying,
read.
Ye shall no more give the people straw to make bread.
He said, don't give them nothing. They make them do the work by themselves. Make it harder for them. Because Moses came and said, let my people go. Read.
As heretofore, let them go and gather straw for themselves.
Come on.
And the tale of the bricks which they did make heretofore.
Read.
Ye shall lay upon them. Ye shall not diminish aught thereof.
You shall not diminish aught thereof. Come on.
For they be idle.
Read verse 14.
Verse 14.
He said, man, they're idle. That's why they come and ask me to serve their God. Read.
And the officers of the children of Israel, which Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and demanded, wherefore have ye not fulfilled your task?
Why didn't you do the work? They beat them. How come you didn't finish your task? Jump to verse 20.
Verse 20. And they met Moses and Aaron, who stood in the way, as they came forth from Pharaoh.
Read.
And they said unto them, the Lord look upon you and judge.
Because they were pissed. They're black people. They got whooped. They came back and said, what the hell, Moses and Aaron? The Lord look upon you and judge. Come on, man. Y'all got us messed up out here, man. We used to be good. We used to work we only used to work 7 hours a day. Now we work 35, 24 hours. Come on, bro. Damn. Look what you did. Go ahead.
Because he had made our Savior to be abhorred in the eyes of Pharaoh.
He said he used to like us working 7 hours, 8 hours a day. It used to be easy. Now it's 14 hours. We work 30 hours in one day. It's impossible. They said it. Read.
And in the eyes of his servant, to put a sword in their hand to slay us.
He's like, you trying to kill us, bro? Go ahead.
And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Lord.
Now Moses goes to the Lord. Read chapter 6 and verse 1.
Chapter 6 and verse 1. Then the Lord said unto Moses, now shalt thou see what I will do to Pharaoh.
Read.
For with a strong hand shall he let them go, and with a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land.
All right, with a strong hand he will let them go. Read 7 and 1.
Book of Exodus, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Come on.
And the Lord said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a God to Pharaoh.
Read.
And Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet.
Read.
Thou shalt speak.
So Moses was made a God unto Pharaoh. That's why I call Moses the God slayer. Read.
Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh.
Read.
That he send the children of Israel out of his land.
Read.
And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt.
Come on.
But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt.
Now jump to verse 10.
Verse 10. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, And they did so as the Lord had commanded.
Read.
And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent.
All right, now look up the god Sobek. Sobek. So now they cast the rod down and it became a serpent. Look up the god Sobek. You got it? Put it up. All right, read that.
Sobek, also called Sebek or Sabki, Coptic, Koik, Romanized Souk, was an ancient Egyptian deity with a complex and elastic history and nature. He is associated with the Nile crocodile.
With what?
With the Nile crocodile.
He was a reptilian. Go ahead.
Or the West African crocodile.
Read.
And is represented either in his form or as a human with a crocodile head.
Come on.
Sobek was also associated with pharaonic power.
Pharaonic power. I mean, power of the pharaoh. Go ahead.
Fertility and military prowess, but served additionally as a protective deity with apotropaic qualities, invoked especially for protection against the dangers presented by the Nile.
Read.
Sobek has been famed for having
All right, so that's it. That's Sobek. That's Sobek. That's one of the gods that was destroyed when Moses and Aaron started to do the work of the plagues unto Pharaoh. Now, let's jump to verse 15.
Verse 15. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brink against heat. Come, and the rod which was turned to a serpent shalt thou take in thine hand.
Read.
And thou shalt say unto him, the Lord God of the Hebrews have sent me unto thee.
Come on.
Saying, let my people go.
Come on.
That they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear.
Read.
Thus saith the Lord, and this thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
Read.
Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in my hand upon the waters.
Come on.
Which are in the river. And they shall
Which
be
are in the what?
Which are in the river.
And what happened?
And they shall be turned to blood.
They shall be turned to what?
They shall be turned to blood.
Sobek has been destroyed. Verse 18.
Verse 18. And the fish that is in the river shall die. And the river shall stink. And the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river.
Now, Sobek, remember, he was the Egyptian crocodile that lived in the Nile. The Nile is the water. Now, the water has become blood. The fish die, everything dies. The Egyptians hate the water. They used to look at Sobek, the god of the water, and say, thank be to Sobek. Sobek is now dead. Moses has slayed Sobek by the hand of God. Now, let's get to the next one. Let's go to chapter 8, verse 1.
Book of Exodus, chapter 8 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, thus saith the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs.
Now, which guy was the frog? Was that Put? I don't got the names by the guys. Pull up the right guy for me. Pull up the right guy for that. Read on.
And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed and into the house of thy servants.
Go ahead.
And upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs.
Read.
And the frogs shall come up both on thee and upon thy people.
That's also I forget which god this one was, but that's also an Egyptian god right there. I think it's Put, but I'm not certain. So that's Egyptian god that just got the frogs. That's another god that Moses slayed. All right. Jump to chapter 9 and verse 1.
Book of Exodus, chapter 9 and verse 1. Then the Lord said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh and tell him, thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, let my people go.
Read.
That they may serve me. For if thou refuse to let them go and will hold them still.
I think Hathor is the cattle, right? Pull up that one. Hathor. Let me see it. What just happened? Gotta go back. All right. Read.
Behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murmuring.
Type in the Egyptian god of cattle. I don't think I pulled this one up. Let me see. I'll type it in. Let's see. Egyptian god of cattle. Read it again.
Verse 3. Behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses,
yes,
upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain.
A grievous plague. Read on.
And the Lord shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt.
Right. The cattle of Israel was good, but the cattle of Egypt had that disease. And now, go to Hathor. Pull that up. Let's see what God Moses slayed with this one. Read that.
Hathor, the ancient Egyptian, house of Horus.
Come on.
Ancient Greek, Coptic, Meroitic, was a major goddess in ancient Egypt religion who played a wide variety of roles. As a sky deity, she was the mother or consort of the sky god Horus. And the sun god.
Her other name is Hissat, but go ahead.
And the sun god Ra.
Read.
Both of whom were connected with the kingship. And thus, she was the symbolic mother of their earthly representatives, the pharaohs. She was one of several goddesses.
All right, so come out of that. Go to Google and type in Hathor, goddess of cattle. For time's sake, Hathor, goddess of cattle. Pull it up. Put it on screen. Trying to go quick. It's already 6:52. We might go over just a little bit. Have mercy.
Hathor is a primary Egyptian goddess associated with cattle and is often depicted as a cow.
So Hathor is the cow goddess. Moses have slain Hathor with the power of God. Why do you think he dealt with the cattle like that? That's an Egyptian god. That's not no, God wasn't just doing no random stuff. He was destroying the gods of Egypt. That's what we read in Exodus 12:12. All of these things that we're reading is God destroying the gods of Egypt. Now, jump to verse 8.
Verse 8. And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron, take to you handfuls of ashes.
Oh, wait. Jump to 5.
Verse 5. And the Lord appointed a set time.
So now, murrain was that sickness that God put on the Egyptian cattle. Read.
Saying, tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land.
Come on.
And the Lord did that thing on the morrow.
Just like he said he was going to do.
And all the cattle of Egypt died.
Hathor is dead. Hathor has been slain. Read.
But of the cattle of the children of Israel died not one.
You got to think about this. What do you think the people were saying when they woke up and all of their cattle was dead? Hathor! Hathor! With the big forehead. Hathor! They were screaming for Hathor, but Hathor could not speak. They went to the temple of Hathor, but Hathor was dead. All praise to the Most High God. Read on. Watch how Pharaoh get pissed off.
And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead.
None of the cattle of the Israelites were dead. That's why the Lord said he put a difference between the Egyptian cattle and the Israelite cattle. Read.
And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened.
And
he did not let the people go.
He was pissed. He said, what the hell? I'm not letting these people go. I'm going to make it worse for them. Read on.
And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron.
Watch this.
Take to you handful of ashes.
Take some handful of ashes.
Of the furnace. And let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh.
So now he took some ashes. He said, like that, sprinkled it. Ashes in the air. Go ahead.
And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt.
Read.
And shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt.
Read on.
And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh.
Read.
And Moses sprinkled it up toward the heaven. And it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man.
A boil breaking forth with blains is like those zits. Huge zits they had. Big boils that came with pus coming out. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Pull up Katesh. Read on.
And upon beasts. And the magicians could not stand before Moses.
They couldn't touch the power of God that was inside of Moses. Read.
For the boil was upon the magicians.
They had boils too. They trying to replicate what he doing. They can't do it. They come in the fair like, yo, you know, pus coming out. You ever see somebody pop a zit on somebody's back? They go, and that stuff come out. That's what happens. That's boiling blains. Read.
And upon all the Egyptians.
Come on.
And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh.
All right, so pull up Kadesh. Read that.
Kadesh. Kadesh. Mm-hmm. Kadesh. 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 Kadesh.
Just read.
Okay. Was a goddess who was incorporated into the ancient Egyptian religion.
Come on.
In the late Bronze Age.
Read.
Her name was likely developed by the Egyptians based on the Semitic root QDS.
Let's see what she's a goddess of. Scroll down. Lady of Stars, beloved of Ta. Where did it say she's the goddess of beauty? Might have to pull it up on Google. You might have to pull it up on Google. Go ahead.
Kadesh, also known as Kadesh, was an Egyptian goddess associated with love, beauty, fertility, and sacred ecstasy and sexual pleasure.
So Kadesh is the same thing as I believe she goes into the same thing as Isis. Isis is a goddess of fertility. Same thing as the mother of heaven. Same thing as Diana. Kadesh was the goddess of beauty. Now all the Egyptians got boils on their faces. What happened to their beauty? What do you think they were doing? They were going to the temple of Kadesh saying, "Bring back my beautiful skin. Bring back my beautiful skin. Oh God, Kadesh." But Kadesh is now slain by the power of God inside of Moses. Moses got God. He got bodies of gods, bro. Moses got God bodies out here. Damn. Moses slaying God after God after God. All right. Go to Exodus 9. Let me see. Verse 23.
Book of Exodus, chapter 9 and verse 23. Mm-hmm. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and the Lord sent thunder and hail.
What?
The Lord sent thunder and hail.
The Lord sent thunder and hail. Read.
And the fire ran along upon the ground, and the Lord rained hail upon the land of Egypt.
What's that? We read about Hathor was one of the sky gods. Let's go to, I think, Ra. God of the sky. We want the sky god. Read on. Where you at?
Verse 24. Mm-hmm. So there was hail, and fire mingled with hail.
Read.
Very grievous.
Read.
Such as there was none like in it all the land of Egypt.
There was never a hail like this in all the land of Egypt. Pull up that God. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's Ra, God of the sky. Does it say it in there? Yes. Put it up. Right? You see this on the dollar bill, the all-seeing eye of Ra. So now read where it says, you can read Ra, and then where it says in the 25th and 24th century.
Ra. In the 25th and 21st centuries BC, he had become one of the most important gods in ancient Egypt religion.
Read.
Identified primarily with the noonday sun. Ra ruled in all parts of the created world.
The what?
Ruled in all parts of the created world.
Now what?
The sky.
The what?
The sky.
The what?
The sky.
So now, hail and thunder is coming from the sky. Huge things of hail smiting cattle, destroying them. Huge things of hail smacking an Egyptian on the head. He's a dead man. What do you think they were doing? Ra! Ra, what is going on, Ra? Help us. Ra has been slain by Moses with the power of God. Ra has now been slain by Moses with the power of God. Damn! Ra's finished. He's a dead man. Just the fact that hail was coming from the sky and nobody could stop it, Ra is a dead man. You have to think, you've been believing in Ra your whole life. You've been looking for Ra for help in sun and sky for your whole life. And Ra is now dead. You got, brother, has to destroy the image of Ra in your mind for the rest of your life after that. All right. From there, where are we at? Verse 23?
Verse 24, sir.
Read verse 24. Read verse 29.
Verse 29. And Moses said unto him, as soon as I am gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands unto the Lord.
All right, we got to speed it up. Jump to 10 and 1.
Book of Exodus, chapter 10 and verse 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I might show these my signs before him.
Read.
And that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son and of thy son's son what things.
Read verse 14.
Verse 14. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt.
So this is another god that the Lord destroyed in their sight. The locusts came up and started devouring everything. That's a different god. I think that's Put that they were dealing with. So now verse 21.
Verse 21. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand toward heaven.
We're almost done. Come on.
That there may be darkness over the land of Egypt.
Read.
Even darkness which may be felt.
Come on.
And Moses stretched
Now
forth.
darkness is over the land of Egypt. It's noon. It's 11 a.m. and it's pitch black. It's so dark. When you read Wisdom of Solomon 17, it's so dark they couldn't even see what they were touching. They'd just sit there and wait for the day, like laying on the ground like this, waiting for the darkness to disappear. What God is that? Pull up Osiris. Pull up Osiris real quick. Oh, we almost done. We got to get off here. 701. Osiris, read that.
Osiris, from Egyptian, is the god of fertility, agriculture.
Oh, I'm sorry. The god of the sun is Ra, isn't it? Yeah. Osiris is the next one. I'm jumping the damn gun. Put up Ra again. Pull up Ra one more time. Maybe Google it. God, Ra, God of the sun. Read the darkness part one more time. Where were we at? Verse 22.
Verse 22. And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from its place for 3 days.
Pull it up. Watch this. Darkness. Bro, 3 days, my man was laying there because he couldn't see nothing. When you read Wisdom of Solomon 17, you couldn't see nothing. Look how Ra has been killed. Read that.
Ra is the Egyptian sun god.
Imagine you've been praising the sun your whole life. You wake up with your big forehead shining, the sun beaming off that big old forehead, you Nilo, and you praising the sun god Ra. And Moses comes with a staff and a beard and slays him. It's dark. Moses said it's going to be dark for 3 days. And it was dark for 3 days. That's power right there. Moses has slain Ra. Read.
Ra is the Egyptian sun god.
Come on.
And one of the most important gods in ancient Egyptian
He's
mythology.
a sun god is dead. You got to think this, bro, I woke up. It's dark. It's 9 a.m. It's 12 a.m. It's 3 p.m. It's dark. The hell's going on? Ra is dead. But you know what's crazy? The darkness was over Egypt, but the Israelite area, it was light. That's power. That is power. All right, now let's hurry up. Let's get to the last one. Chapter 11, chapter 12, verse 12. No. 12 and... No, that's not what I want. I want when he kills all the firstborn. It's 11. Let's start at verse 3.
Book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 3.
Come on.
And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians.
Read.
Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt.
Watch this, bro. Because you got to think. What was Moses' name after he just killed 7 gods? 8 gods. He's the God slayer. Look, Moses is now become the God slayer. He's very great in the eyes of the Egyptians. Moses is the God slayer. Yo, don't when Moses walk by, you better watch out, bro. He slayed Ra. You got to think about that. Moses is now very great in the sight of the Egyptians. They're like, yo, this dude's great. This dude killing gods over here. He's at a different level. Remember, God said, I'm going to make you a god, Moses, and Aaron's going to be your prophet. That's power. Read.
Verse 3. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians.
Yes.
Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt.
Watch this.
In the sight of Pharaoh's servants.
Speed up.
And in the sight of the people.
Come on.
And Moses said, thus saith the Lord, About midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt.
At midnight, this is what I'm going to do. Read.
And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die.
Shall what?
And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die.
I wish I could have read Wisdom of Solomon to y'all, how it was so much deeper than what we're reading right now. But I guess for another time, we'll go over that. But it was so much deeper than what we're reading. Because right now we just read, oh, he killed the firstborn. But the way he killed them was diabolical. Diabolical. We should read Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 18 on your own time to see what really happened in Egypt in detail. Read.
And Moses said, thus saith the Lord, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt.
Read.
And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die.
Come on.
From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne.
From the firstborn of Pharaoh on the throne.
Even unto the firstborn of the maid
Pharaoh
servant.
is supposed to be God on earth. And Moses is out here showing, ain't no God, my God. Read.
That is behind the meal. And all the firstborn of beasts.
Even the firstborn of the beast died. Read.
And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt. Such as there was none like it. Nor shall be like it anymore.
All right, so I might have to read it. So a great cry went up. Now, when you watch The Prince of Egypt, you think a spirit came and, you remember when you watch Egypt, it was a blue light, it went into somebody, it went out, and they were dead. You think that's how it happened? Hell no, that's not how it happened. The great cry was because you woke up, your baby's body was slattered across the wall in pieces. All you seen was a piece of his leg. A great cry doesn't come up just because you just look and the baby just laying there stiff clone dead. A great cry came up because one of the baby's legs was hanging from the rafters.
Finish him.
Where is my son? His head is right there. Half of his head is on the ground. You think about that. That's the power of God. That's what happened. That's what happened when you read Wisdom of Solomon. I wish I could find it. 17, 18. Where is it at? Nope. It's going to take too long. I want to read it, but it's going to take too long. All right. So, from there, go back to where we were at. 18 and 5, real quick. Come on. Start at verse 4. Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 4. Come on.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 18 and verse 5.
Quick, let's go.
And when they had
Start
determined.
at 4.
Verse 4. For they were worthy to be deprived of light.
Remember, that's the God Ra got killed. Read.
And imprisoned in darkness.
Read.
Who had kept thy son shut up, by whom the uncorrupt light of the law was to be given unto the world.
That's heavy right there, but I'm not going to break it down. Verse 5.
And when they had determined to slay the babes of the saints, one child being cast forth and saved to reprove them.
That was Moses.
Thou tookest away the multitude of their children.
Read.
And destroyest them altogether in a mighty water. Of that night were our fathers certified afore.
Jump to verse 10.
Verse 10. But on the other side were sounded an ill according cry of the enemy.
So that's what we just read in Exodus, an ill cry of the enemies. Read.
And lamentable noise was carried abroad for the children that were bewailed.
Read.
The master and the servant were punished after one manner. And like as a king, so suffered the common person.
So remember, it said from Pharaoh down to the little kid, down to the cattle, the firstborn was going to die. Read.
So they altogether had innumerable dead.
What?
Innumerable dead.
Innumerable dead.
With one kind of death.
Now, think about this. One had this kind of death. Another had that kind of death. Read.
Neither were the living sufficient to bury them.
Damn.
For in one moment the noblest offspring of them was destroyed.
Read.
For whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments upon the destruction of the firstborn, they acknowledged this people to be the sons of God.
He said that was it. That was it. After that, the destruction of this people, they acknowledged them to be the sons of God because they woke up and they seen my child was just destroyed. They woke up and they see my child is just laying across the bed. Half of his body is gone. Go back to Exodus. Now pull up the god Osiris. And that's the last god that Moses slayed before they just knew, all right, Moses is the one. He's him. Through the power of God, he is him. Read that.
Osiris, the Egyptian, is the god of fertility, agriculture, the afterlife.
So you got the children in there, agriculture, the locusts. Read.
The dead.
Read.
Resurrection, life, and vegetation in ancient Egyptian religion.
Pull up Anubis now. Real quick. Anubis. Anubis. Read Exodus 12:12. Real
Book
quick,
of
man. We like 10 minutes over. Go ahead.
Book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast.
Read it.
And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment.
Against all the gods of Egypt, the Lord executed judgment by the hand of his prophet Moses. Read that on the screen.
Anubis is the Egyptian god of mummification, the afterlife, and the underworld.
So now, go back to Osiris. Go back to Osiris. So Anubis, Osiris, read that.
Osiris, from Egyptian, is the god of fertility, agriculture, the afterlife, the dead, resurrection, life, and vegetation.
Life. God destroyed Osiris. That was his last judgment on the last god. Osiris is supposed to be the top of the top to the Egyptians, and God slayed him by the hand of Moses. Moses, the God slayer. That's powerful right there. Give a round of applause for Moses. By the Spirit of the Most High God. All praise to the Most High. All right, man. I'm like 11 minutes over. Lord's will, you got something from that class. I enjoyed teaching it. All praise to the Most High God. Make sure you subscribe to IUIC TV. Subscribe to IUIC Captains. Subscribe to Nathaniel 7. Make sure you go on Instagram. Subscribe to Nathaniel 7. And then on TikTok, where he does meditate on something every single day. There's a video to edify you every day from our mighty bishop. All praise to the Most High God. We pray for the destruction of our enemies, destruction of ADL, IPAC, Israel Project. All praise to the Lord. I pray that you did get something from that class and you prep yourself for Passover. Remove your sin from your spirit. Stay in the spirit of Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Oh, subscribe to IOC Detroit too.
They go ballistic when they see we intercontinental. See, we came together, we got common issues. So you can go ahead, write this, cause it's monumental.
In the concrete jungle, where men become gods. And don't be surprised when the real Jew rise. Better open your eyes and see through the lies. Tears from your soul flow through the streets. Wisdom echo, oh so unique. Rose is narrow, but the chosen is few. You're so close to the truth, concrete jungle.
Let the saints worship the Lord this day for raising Israel out of the slums. Every man, woman, and child from all over the world, from wherever you come from the dirt to kingship, from rags to riches, from bottom class to top shelf. We be the chosen people, and let them know.
In the concrete jungle, where men become gods. And don't be surprised when the real Jew rise. Better open your eyes and see through the lies. Tears from your soul flow through the streets. Wisdom echo, oh so unique. Rose is narrow, but the chosen is few. You're so close to the truth.